Pick a tablet, any tablet, nothing but a tablet. Today we're going to take a look at those 7-inch tablets, including this one right here, which is the Amazon Fire. Next. Tablets are getting cheaper and cheaper, as you can tell right here. Gone are the days of the iPad where it's $500, $800, $900. You can get tablets for your kids. You can get tablets that are not as expensive and do the exact same things as your iPad can. Case in point, Amazon has put out the Amazon Fire 7-inch tablet for only $50. Now this is great, but I've also noticed in some of my favorite stores they have some other tablets like this one right here, which is the ProScan 7-inch tablet, and then this one right here, which is Walmart's 7-inch tablet, the RCA Voyager. So I thought, well, let's take a look at some of these 7-inch tablets and see which ones are going to be right for you, because they do different things, and maybe you want a pure Android experience, maybe you want that structure of Amazon Fire and be able to read the Kindle books and stuff like that. So we're going to show you all three tablets, and we're going to go through the pros and cons of each. Now, before we go any further, these are all non-HD tablets, which means they're not going to do 1080p, they're not going to do 720p, but you'll still be able to watch your YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, whatever on these tablets, just not in high definition. So let's start with this one. Of course, we've got the Amazon 7-inch Fire tablet right here. It's a $50 tablet. Well, technically a $50 tablet. If you want ads, like for instance the start screen, well, I have a start screen, it looks like a little bamboo thing right here. But for $50, you'll actually get ads on the $50 tablet. If you don't want the ads, limited ads, as they put it, you can pay another $10. Ultimately, with the 2-year protection and the no ads, I got this for $68. Of course, the reason why I did that was because if I start showing apps off of this tablet, I don't want an ad to get into the way here. The Fire tablet has a 7-inch screen, of course. 1024 by 600 is the resolution here. The LCD is what's called MDPI, and it has a quad-core ARM Cortex A7 processor running at 1.3 gigahertz in this tablet. The memory inside is 1 gigabyte of RAM, technically 1024 megabytes of RAM, and it does have a GPU, what's called the Mali 450 GPU inside of it. The Wi-Fi is 802.11b, G, and N, and of course it has the 4.0 Lite Bluetooth within it. You can put a micro SD card into here up to 128. This does run Android 5.1 at the time of this video. Android 5.1, so the later versions you might get a newer version of Android operating system. The multi-touch says it's 10-point, but when I ran the multi-touch programs, I could only put down 5 digits before it got confused. So either the programs only go to 5 or this only does 5 in its own. 2 cameras on this tablet. We have the rear 2-megapixel camera and the front face camera, which is probably VGA. And of course the battery life is 10 hours, pretty quick to charge through a regular micro USB cable. Inside the tablet, we have the Amazon Fire operating system overlay to Android, so you're not going to have a Play Store or anything like that. You can sideload the Play Store and the Google Android Play ability. However, it's not fully functional, which means that when, like for instance, when I loaded the Play Store, it had a hard time pulling up my profile. It can't do a second profile. The system crashes, and any apps that use Google Play will have a hard time loading up, including Clash of Clans. If you're a big Clash of Clanner, you can get it to load on here, but it takes a few tries and it becomes problematic. Once it's loaded, it's perfect, but if you have multiple profiles, you might want to not do that. One profile on here, at least for now, with this version of Android and Amazon Fire. One other thing to note here, when you create another profile on here, you're actually creating another Amazon profile as well. So if you don't want multiple Amazon profiles, then just leave it to the one profile and go from there. If you're using it with the family, then you've probably set up family profiles already, and of course you can set that up here, but it will not set up a Google profile. You can then have to sideload the Google Play apps on each profile afterwards. And of course, inside here, there's only 8 gigabytes of memory, so try and reduce the amount of stuff that you put onto here. Running some of the more intensive apps on this tablet, it works pretty well. In fact, as a musician, I use, and of course I did a video on the iRig UA attachment for your guitar, putting different pedals and different sounds going through the tablet. I use that through here, and actually no problems on any of the tablets that I'm going to talk about today. So you can use some pretty good applications. Battery life might be your issue. This says 10 hours. Inside, though, you might, once you start using those intensive apps, might be a little bit quicker in loss of battery life there. So this is the Amazon Fire 7-inch tablet, $50, technically a little bit more if you don't want ads, and it's available now. Next up is Walmart's answer to the Android tablet. This is the RCA Voyager 7-inch tablet. This is 16 gigabytes inside here, and this runs for about $45. And of course, you can get it with a 2-year protection plan for another $15. But no ads in here. It does come loaded with Walmart software or RCA software. Since this is an RCA tablet, you can get a non-Walmart version, so you just have to find it, and they do have this model of tablet on Amazon as well if you want to go for it. We'll have all the links in the show notes on how you can get this tablet. All three of the tablets pretty much match in size, shape, and everything. This is the difference, slightly raised on height here, and of course it's got this plastic back, a little bit more cheesy plastic, as I like to call it, and of course the edge has like this bevel to it, a weird bevel to it, which kind of has not a sharp edge, but you can definitely feel it. Now the Voyager Pro 7-inch also has 1024 by 600 resolution. It also has the internal RAM of 1024. This one actually has 16 gigabytes of RAM as opposed to the Amazon Fire. Also using the quad-core ARM Cortex A7 1.3 gigahertz processor and GPU Mali 450. It also has 802.11 BGN Wi-Fi and also does do Bluetooth, although I'm not sure what version of Bluetooth is inside here. This runs, and at the time, this runs Android 5.0.1 as opposed to 5.1, which the other two tablets do run. Multi-touch, this can go up to 5 touch points that I was able to find. SD card, they say you can put up to 32 gigabytes in here, but I bet you can try with 64 or 128 and get a little bit more out of it. There is no rear face camera on this tablet. There's only a front face camera, and it's only 1 megapixel, so it's not going to be great. But if you're doing some quick selfies or you're doing maybe a Skype or something like that, then it works pretty well. But don't expect it to be high resolution on any of these tablets for that matter. The Amazon Fire, by far, will have the best pictures out of the three. Of course, this runs Google's Android software perfectly, and you can get into the Play Store without problems. Setting up profiles, not a problem whatsoever. If you want the Amazon software, you can load it up right here, but once again, this has 16 gigabytes in here, so make sure what you put in here, what you store, pictures and documents and stuff like that. This tablet does run Google Play natively, and of course you can download things like Clash of Clans. You can set up multiple profiles if you have more than one game profile that you're using, and it does play games like Clash of Clans pretty well. Get into some of the higher end games like the car racing games, RPGs and stuff like that. You might want to check to see if this will work, but it does have a decent chip in here and a decent GPU matching the Fire, so you should be able to play some pretty cool stuff here, although not in high definition. Alright, this is the ProScan 7-inch tablet. It is actually the lesser of the three in multiple ways. The biggest thing is the price. This actually was $39.99 at the local, actually in Menards, which is a Midwest hardware store. You can also find this at H.H. Gregg, you can find this at Sears, you can find this at Target, Amazon has them, and Walmart also has these tablets as well. Not as much power as these other two. It's running the same quad-core Cortex A7, but at 1.2 gigahertz. It has a Mali 400 GPU in here, and the screen size is only 800 by 480 resolution. It has 802.11 BGN Wi-Fi, but has absolutely no Bluetooth in here. So if you need something to hook up to Bluetooth speakers or a Bluetooth keyboard or anything like that, this won't do it. The OS actually is 5.1.1 on this tablet as opposed to the other two, which was running 5.1 and 5.01 respectively. It also has a good multi-touch to it. No accelerometer in the camera, of course. It's got no rear-face camera, and it's a very low-powered VGA front-face camera. So I didn't run Skype on any of these, so I don't know how well it's going to run on those. And the battery life on this one actually works pretty well and probably matches what the Amazon Fire does, which was a 10-hour battery. The RCA was 6 hours. This is about 7 or 8 hours, which was surprising between the three having such a good battery in it. All three of them have rear-face speakers, so if you set them down on a surface, you pretty much can't hear everything. But the other thing about this tablet is not only does it have a USB charging option, but it also comes with a actual wall plug, and there is a prong unit in here, which you could pretty much discard because you can charge it through the USB here without a problem. But if you want to, if you're not near a computer, you don't have the USB cable, you can use the regular adapter to it. It's not as great as the other two. It does run the Google Play software. However, when I try to switch between profiles or create another profile, it gets really confused. And if I try to add a profile in the Play Store, it just simply crashes. It does run Clash of Clans, but if you run any more powerful games, you might run into problems, constant crashing and stuff like that. So this is a perfect tablet to put on your coffee table. Give to the kids to run that simple storybook. And of course it can load the Amazon software so you can read Kindle books. Not as crisp of a screen because it's 800 by 480, but it does do the job. So that is it. These are the three tablets that I'm showing you, and as you can see, they're pretty small. They're very lightweight too, so all three of them will work in one way or another for whatever your need is. If I had to choose between the three, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm choosing the RCA Voyager 7-inch tablet because it can run the Google Play services without sideloading any apps, and I can get all the apps that I need to, and I can load in Amazon, and I can read the Kindle, so it gives me all the Amazon stuff here. Of course, if you want to stay in the Amazon infrastructure, then the Fire tablet is perfect for that. If you don't care about sideloading your Google Play Store, and you just want to read books, you want to play games in here, this does a great job in doing it. Plus, it will probably be supported within the next 2 years, so it'll probably have a better chance of updating than the other two tablets. And of course the ProScan, if you want to give a nice cheap tablet for Christmas, $40, can't go wrong. You can get it in multiple areas. Do you have these tablets? Let me know what you think, if you like them, if you don't like them. And of course, they're not going to be iPad Airs or Air 2s. They're going to have some lag time to them. So like for instance, when I open up a program, I'll touch on the screen. It'll take a few seconds before it even starts to load up. So you got to be a little bit more patient as opposed to an iPad where you tap and it goes. These don't have the most powerful processor in the world, but they do the job, and that's the key right there. Perfect second tablets if you do have an iPad, third tablets, fourth tablets, whatever you do, and great gifts for Christmas, for birthdays, for whatever, whenever the time is that you're watching this. All right, well, that's that. Let me know what you use for your tablets, and if there is a 7-inch tablet that I didn't take a look at here, let me know, and maybe I'll get one, and we'll compare it with the other three and go from there. Until then, you can find me over at Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek, or geekazine@gmail.com, Twitter being Geekazine. I live in the Geekazine space, and youtube.com/Geekazine. Now, of course, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching you guys geek out. We'll see you at another throwdown over at Geekazine.com. Take care.